Hello, Power Up Nation. I am Pat Council, and we're going to talk about how your email builds credibility and produces revenues. This is our Thriving Thursday where we talk about your business a little bit. I share some business tips that will help you move along a little further and help you get to the revenues with a little less hassle. With that being said, today, as I said, we're going to talk about your email. And I think there's some things that I can share with you that will make things a lot easier for you, but also help you achieve a level of credibility that you need to achieve so that people will trust you and buy what you're selling, buy what you're sharing, and believe what you're sharing, assuming it is all legitimate and true. Now, here's the caveat. Sometimes it's not legitimate and true, but because you created an image of credibility, well, people still believe it. But that's on them to do their own homework, because in the words of Tony Robbins, success leaves clues. So do your homework. With that being said, let's press on. Now, last week, I talked about becoming a successful business person. So I gave 5 strategies that you can use in order to become a more successful business person in 2026. And what I promised was throughout the year, as the year progresses, I am going to share different strategies, different ideas, different insights, and tips that can help you reach your revenue goals. The key is for you to act on it, follow through. It'll take you faster and farther than you ever imagined. So when we talk about your email, I'm going to jump right into this. And what made me want to talk about this, you guys, is I get lots of emails from people who are wanting to sell me some things, wanting me to purchase their services, wanting me to do business with them. And if I had the time, I would actually email each and every one of them back, the ones that do this, and let them know, okay, your email says xyz@yahoo.com. And sometimes it says xyz@gmail.com. Now, Gmail is reputable, and so is yahoo.com. Gmail is it's known a lot more. It's recognized a lot more. And it does have a certain level of respect. However, when it comes to your email address, one of the things that I look for, and a lot of other professionals that you may be wanting to sell something to, and even people who are just looking to purchase a certain type of service or a certain type of product, and they see your email, well, if it says Gmail, AOL, and Yahoo, they don't really take you seriously. So what do? The object of the game is for you to get an email address that reflects your business and reflects you. Like, for example, I have an email address that's attached to my company, and it's pat@powerupnation.com. But I also have an email that reflects, well, me, patcouncil@patcouncil.com, because Pat Council is somewhat the product. I speak, I coach, and so I use my name. Okay, and that is a part of my email address, patcouncil@patcouncil.com. So if you're going to establish a certain level of credibility, plus it makes it easy for people to remember you, and it makes them able to remember your email address, even if they forgot to write it down. If they remember your name, they're going to remember your email address. But now patcouncil@patcouncil.com, the handle patcouncil.com, that is a website of mine, patcouncil.com, that tells you who I am, what I do, what I'm all about, and it introduces some of the courses that I offer, among other things. And it makes mention of my podcast. There's a link to the podcast. Now, the podcast is called Designing Your Life Today. And this is It's actually Designing Your Life Today featuring Pat Council. Now, when I originally started the podcast, it was Designing Your Life Today. And then I realized, wait a minute, I need people to remember my name because I'm a coach and I'm teaching things and I'm sharing information. So I need to build my brand by using my name. I need them to say, you know what? I purchased one of her books or one of her courses and it was good. Okay, so when they see my name, it represents something. When they see the name of my company, Power Up Nation, that represents something, a type of brand, something that's connected to credibility, but it's also connected to a commitment to providing quality, excellent service. And it's also a commitment to sharing information that will help people achieve a certain level of results. Now, when I say a certain level, it's based on the level that they decide that they want to achieve and if they're willing to do the work. So with that being said, pay attention to the kind of email address that you have. When I see these emails that come to my box, if there's someone asking me a question, that's something very different. But if someone that's trying to sell me something, that I look at that, and if I see yahoo.com and they automatically ask me for money right in the email, and they don't have a website that corresponds to that, well, to me, they could be a legitimate business person, but that's a little fishy to me. So think about your email address. Understand this. If you're going to build a successful business, build it right. Okay. Establish the right platforms, get the right type of email address. Now, here's the other thing about an email address. If you choose an email address that's connected to your business or connected to you, it needs to be one that's easy to remember. So when it's something that's easy to remember, of course, people are going to remember it. As I said, whether they write it down or not. But if you make it fancy because you think it's cute, or you want this email address that represents something to you, that may not represent anything to us, your customer or your target market. So think about that when it comes to your email address. The other thing that I think it's important that you understand, that once you get the proper email address, an effective email address, an email address that brands you, brands your business, then the other thing you want to pay attention to is getting the right email system, because we're talking about building credibility, but we're also talking about producing revenues. When you build credibility, your revenues are going to go up, assuming that people want what you have to offer. But that kind of goes without saying that with credibility, a lot of times comes increased revenues. But in order to produce those revenues, you have to have an email system. And the email system that you want to have should be one that makes you look professional. Just as your email that you're going to choose using your domain, okay? It gives you a more professional look because now you have a custom email. And the other thing is it's going to build trust because you have a custom email, but now you also have an email system that looks professional. It shows people that you take your business seriously. And this helps to promote your brand with every single message that you send to people. Now, on my emails, most of my emails, I have my picture on it. That's not because I'm so in love with myself. Well, I am in love with me, but we should all love ourselves. However, it's there because the email is coming from Pat Council. And a lot of the people that are receiving my emails, these are people that have either seen me online, participated in a webinar or workshop online, or they've seen me in person, where I've done a presentation live and in person. And so this reminds them, yes, I'm the person that you met. So this is what you want to think about when you're choosing an email system, that you're choosing a system that's going to make you look professional. The other thing about email systems today, if you choose the right one, is that they make digital marketing very easy. And so before I go any further, I'm going to put a link to the email marketing system that I use. I've used it for more than 10 years. I've seen it grow. It's progressed to the point where it's amazing. It was amazing when I started, and so now it's even more amazing. It's magnificent. That's my word. So, but you want to choose the right email system. Now, this is what I want to caution you against, or here's a caveat. A lot of times we choose an email system because it's free, or we choose an email system because it's cheap. And that's that, or it's affordable, I should say. And that's okay. If you want to choose something that you can afford at this point in time, there's nothing wrong with that. I started out with a particular email system that was extremely affordable. And I'm not going to say what it is because I don't want it to make it sound like it's a cheap system, and it's not cheap. So, but I will put some information in the show notes, and you guys can kind of do your own due diligence. But when I started with this email system, it was $19 a month, which was pretty much what I could afford. And it gave me $1. It let me pay $1 for the first month. So that kind of worked out. And so eventually, though, I found that, first of all, as my email list grew, I found that, okay, the price went way up and it became I don't want to say too expensive. Well, no, it was too expensive given what I was receiving in return, given the number of services that was offered. So this is the thing that you want to look at when you're choosing your email system. See, it's not so much that whether it's affordable or whether it's expensive. You're not looking for the most expensive email system. You're looking for the most effective email system for what you're doing. That's going to help you move a lot faster, make your business run a lot more smoothly, make your life easier. And so this is what you're looking for. And it's going to get you a return on the investment. So the email system that I use, it does bring me a tremendous return in a big way, you guys. And so, but it's also, I want to say it's affordable, but it's not cheap. And the services that they offer, I have not seen any that are better. I'm not saying that there aren't, but I haven't seen any that are better. Now, I don't pay for things that I don't have to pay for, but I do pay for what I need to pay for. In other words, if this is going to help me achieve my goal, then yes, I will spend that money. This is how you want to look at your email system. So one of the things that you want to take a moment to do is you want to jot down, what do you expect from an email system? What would you like it to do? Because as I said, there are different email systems that will provide you with different resources and tools. This one, the other thing that I want to say, because, and this is the one that, as I said, I'll put all this in the show notes. The email system that I use, the reason I like it, I have a thing about live customer service. I get it. We have AI out there. We have the chat bots. We have all of these things that are available to us, but nothing wastes more of my time than me typing a question into a chat bot and then it doesn't understand and it tells me I need to reword it because I need to fit my question into that chat bot's scientific mind. Okay, so I would prefer to talk to a live person. They can ask me more questions and I can nail it down a lot faster, specifically provide them with my challenge. Here's the problem that I'm having. Here's what I need help with. Okay. If you have to spend a lot of time constantly typing information into a chat bot that doesn't understand what you are looking for, and you have to type it and reframe the question over and over and over, understand your time is just drifting away. That's how I see it. Okay. If I can spend, let's say 5 minutes or less and get an answer to something and have someone walk me through it. And now I've got it, as opposed to a chat bot where I put information in, it gives me the instructions. I have to make sure that those instructions stay up on the screen, or I can copy and paste them and print it off. I have to go through all of this, and then or it gives me articles to read. Okay. I don't have that kind of time. Well, I do, but I don't want to waste that kind of time. I find it to be a waste of time. So I'm sharing this with you. These are things that I do when it comes to my business, or things that I pay attention to. The object of the game, if you're in business, is for you to build your credibility, which is a part of building this brand where people get to know you and they get to connect with you, whether they've had a conversation with you or not. They feel some type of connection. And then after that, it's supposed to produce some revenues, assuming that you're providing a service that they want or need. And so this is the thing that you want to think about. If you're providing a service, if you're providing a product, and you know what, the product, it doesn't matter. The product can be something that centers around entertainment. And I always use entertainment because when people think product, it's about, okay, is this something I need for my home, or it is a type of clothing, or whatever it is. Okay. Something for my hair, these kinds of things. No, but it can also be something centered around entertainment. A good example of that would be streaming apps on television. They make millions, well, billions of dollars. Okay, because they're providing something that people not necessarily need, but people want it. They get excited. They want to kind of escape from reality. So they spend a lot of time with these streaming apps. All right, so let's press on. Now, the thing about every email system, I want to caution you against choosing an email system where they constantly tell you that they do all the work for you. I don't think there's an email system like that. In other words, they may say, well, we're going to do all the work for you, and they give you all of the answers. And that's fine, because AI does serve a purpose, and it serves a very good purpose. Okay. But at some point, and if you've been in business beyond a year and you're using AI, you may be able to relate to this. You can find yourself constantly saying, okay, that sounds good, but it didn't work. I want to change this. I need to change that. I need to change this word. So you're redoing it. And so it's great because AI can give you prompts. It gives you ideas. So that part is great. But what I want you to understand, whether it has AI or not, if an email system says it does all the work for you, I don't think that's true. I know I'm making a blanket statement. I don't usually like to do that, but I'm making it. I just don't believe it's going to do everything for you. You pretty much have to do nothing except put in one sentence, and it's going to create an email. And you can actually do that, okay? Because the email system that I use, I can put in a sentence and tell it what I'm trying to write. It will write it for me, okay? But the other side to that coin is, it is going to, I still have to go back through it. And a lot of times I make changes because I'm good at marketing and branding. But if you're not, this is a very helpful tool. But the point I'm trying to convey to you guys is, don't think that you can just stay there. Constantly use something that's been created for you. You don't have to make any changes. You can just spit it out, and it's going to make you $1 million. Okay, so, and you don't have to take my word for it. Just give it a shot. And like I said, if you've been in business beyond a year, you know what I'm talking about. But as we start to wrap up, I just want to let you guys know that your email builds that credibility. So get the right email address. It gives you that professional look. And so you want a custom email that matches your domain. And I'm saying your domain, assuming you have a website, which, by the way, in this day and time, get yourself a website. Even if it is a small, crisp, clean, nice landing page. I get a lot of times I have people want me to do business with them. And there again, email address is not professional. It's connected to nothing. And sometimes I'm interested in the service. So I will send them an email back or a response and say, hey, can you send me your email address? And that's when I either don't hear back from them, or they come back and tell me they don't have one. So think about this, you guys. You are building your business. If you don't have a lot of revenues, the beautiful part about getting the right email, establishing the right email system, is that it can really jumpstart your business. It can bring in more revenues than you could probably imagine. Okay, at this point, if you're just starting out. So once you build that kind of trust, you do it using your email, you do it using the right, and you do it using the right email system. So with that being said, as I said, I'll put information in the show notes that will help you guys, and you can make the best decision as to what works for you. Now, one last thing I want to share, and we'll do this in another podcast. The other thing I want to share is sometimes, even with AI, you still need a little help. You still need to talk to a live person. You still need to make that connection so that you can put out email addresses that will increase your revenues and produce revenues. Just because something gives you the best topic, the best SEO topic, that does not mean you're going to make money. Okay, and we'll talk about that another time and some of the things that you can do about that so that your business can thrive, so that you can stay on point and you can grow with your business. In the meantime, I want you guys to do life with power, knowing that you're built by design to win.